Kyle here from allmediareviews.blogspot.com. It's Tuesday, I'm off. It's May 31st. Next videos I'll be doing will already be like a week from today or yesterday, just based on that schedule, because I have to work the rest of this week. I'm here to do some videos today, try to do a little more detailed review of the Family Crest's new album, The War Act 2. I don't have my vinyl, so I suppose if anything I do forget any more information I might add when I get the vinyl, because I'm supposed to be getting the vinyl in the next few days. Long story short, when I ordered the Kickstarter, I thought I'd order the vinyl and I didn't. Probably because when it goes back to, this was talked about many years before that even, but it was October of 2019, and that was right after I we had to buy this house, and I was trying to be as careful as possible. And I got some rewards still coming with that. I ended up spending, it was like $45-50. I think it was $50 just for the CD with some extra stuff. This because it's signed and everything. And I pre-ordered it digitally because I wasn't sure if I'm going to get a download from the Kickstarter and with the CD again. So I actually got 2 copies of the CD. So, yeah, I guess that's the thing. I'm going to get the vinyl. I do like this album a lot. Not going to say where it goes on in mid-season rankings yet. But as you know, this is the War Act 2. As you can see, the War Act 1 in 2018 was my album of the year. I guess that I haven't listened to that album that much, and I haven't revisited it. I was meaning to, and I probably will try to revisit that this week. So I don't know. When we get the vinyl in a few days, weeks, some other thoughts, and then when I do the mid-season list, certainly this is going to be high in the mid-season list. I don't know where. Can't tell you where it's going to go. It might be number 1. It might not be. But so having listened to it, I don't know now 4 or 5 times. Of course, it has that stigma of the passing of my cat Latte. The same day I found out that Latte was gone, that I heard this and stuff. Actually, I think I got the download the day before, but I'll always associate this album, I think, with that, unfortunately. I would say this, that it is a lot like their last 3 records in a lot of ways, just musically. There's moments that remind me of Beneath the Brine. There's moments that remind me of both the War Act 1 and Prelude to War. And then there's some moments that are a little different. My go-tos, the earworms, the things I think of it the most for, I think are the songs that sort of have the sort of motifs or themes, the most memorable moments and melodies. Hearts on Fire and Pride, those 2 especially. And then I'll admit that I'm thinking of Latte for some reason with her song. Latte was a male, but the whole memories making together line, it just snowballs in my head every time now. The Tree is another favorite of mine, but yeah, those are, The Garden is good. I Sleep with the Windows Open and In Your Arms Tonight, those 2. And I would say also You Are the Beginning have a lot of the sort of traditional chamber rock sound that we think of from the Family Crest, and a lot of that kind of style. And it's still well written, well composed. I know that I was reading through a thing I wrote back in 2018 when they launched the Kickstarter, 2019 actually, how they were going to count up to 140 musicians total, and this was filmed, recorded in 20 different cities or something. I don't know if this is 140, but that's sort of been one of the trademarks of the last few records. I don't know about Prelude to War, but I know the War Act 1, and especially on Beneath the Brine, you look at the credits list. I think the records are down here, but I'm not going to... I don't know, when I get the vinyl, but I don't know if there's 140 names on here, but there's probably well over 100, though, or, close to 100. But yeah, the symphonic element is a huge part of their sound, and, every one of their records. Baby, You've Got Your Legs, and Cold, Cold, Cold. Cold, Cold, Cold is pretty genius. Very epic, even though it does remind me a little bit of... Parts of it remind me of a Royal Hunt song off of the Paradox album. I also notice how We Evaporate and Cold, Cold, Cold have... It's almost like part of Cold, Cold, Cold is... Or part of We Evaporate is brought back on Cold, Cold, Cold. I'm not sure. But, I'd say, it's not... I had a lot of... I'm just showing the autographs again. I had a lot of optimism for this record. Maybe we should show all the pictures. Because of how much they talked about it years ago. I mean, they talked a lot about the War Act 1, but they said that this was going to potentially be a double album. Now, I don't know, the circumstances changed with COVID, because they were still making at that point. I know some of this stuff goes back over 10 years, though. That's what I was reading through. They was recorded when they did The Village. But that's the Garden. You know, the whole concept of the war, I should read through these lyrics more in detail and look at these pictures. Feel the sting, the sting of love not strong enough. I don't know. There's just like this kind of those themes that come out like Hearts on Fire. That's one of the best songs they've ever done. So the theme is very strong. This is the end of the beginning. I mean, they use it's called the war. Is it a war literal sense from like military guns? Territories fighting for land and, social and political stuff. Or, a love song is maybe, as a song, it's not bad. I just think they put it in the middle of the record. You got this flow, the first 4 tracks, I Sleep With the Windows Open, In Your Arms Tonight, The Garden, and Hearts on Fire. Then a love song is just like this acoustic ballad. I don't know if it's just to try to slow the momentum, but to me, it kind of hurts the flow, and I have to admit that I probably will end up skipping it most times I listen to this record. I would have found it to be better either the beginning or the end or toward the end maybe. I don't know. They've done other ballads, like acoustic ballads. It sounds like it's just Liam McCormick, the lead singer, and just an acoustic guitar mostly. But the piano, I forgot to mention, some of the piano in this really sticks out. That Pride, of course, they put out a video for that song, I want to say 2020. And I really didn't think I liked it, but I think it's a stronger song now that it's hearing it within the record, which is a common thing. I think, like with the Ours album, with this Ours song, The Worst Thing's Beautiful, I had heard that song live many times before I heard it on the Mercy record. Then I heard it on the Mercy record, and I kept on hearing the production stuff, and I just was blown away. Pride is just fantastic. So that's why I guess this album I might think of. I guess I'm kind of thinking of it like some of the other records where a lot of the songs are great. It as a whole, it's maybe greater than the sum of its parts to an extent, but it has a few standout tracks that I'll think of it most for. I think of it probably for Pride and Hearts on Fire especially. But it's still growing on me a little bit. Let's see here, The Tree. Entwine our hearts. See, is the war about something else, like between life forms or, a power struggle kind of thing? I'm not sure, because the tone isn't very militaristic. Caught in my wake, I've got you lost, I've got you locked up, you are the beginning. I don't know if this is like someone born into a sort of a family, and then it's like an heir who's like sort of, you are the beginning, it's like the beginning and the end. Kind of like The Matrix, you are the end, you are the beginning. Or actually Caddisfly, of course, that you are the end thing on Horses Galloping on Sailboats. Step outside, close your eyes, the weight of the world is clear from pride. And there's a snake between 2 hands. So it is obviously showing conflict between 2 people, and it's connecting, but in a weird, like maybe there's some underlying metaphor there, underlying agenda from 2 different sides. Her song, This Is the Way It Could Be Forever. This is the way, I was thinking of the whole thing with my cat, of course, and even though it's not like he's singing loudly, it's almost light, but it's very danceable, her song. That rhythm is very danceable. I don't know if that was intentional. We evaporate, another ground gives way, and we evaporate. I don't know if that's, again, maybe this is based on a metaphor of pieces of land. I don't know. I guess if I ever get to see them live, they've released 3 parts to this whole concept, the war concept. I don't know if they're going to do another one, Act 3. What Liam, maybe there's been an interview with Liam or some of the other members, Laura, that actually talks about what the premise of why it's called the war. What's the war about specifically? So, Baby, You've Got Your Legs, which I mentioned in the vlog last week. Kind of, at points sounding like the Deer Hunters, the Lake, and the River. It's just a little bit. It's like the first, a couple of minutes, and it's not a blatant. It's just very similar. This one has so take your things and go and move on down this road. So I mean, is this about one character, one person, a man, a young man? And maybe that's what it kind of is. A little bit like Hunter in The Deer Hunter. I mean, you want to say that they're influenced by The Deer Hunter? Sure. I suppose they could, because I know from the moment that I got into them and I saw them live, maybe the first or second, I talked to them about the deer. I was carrying my my Violet from the Color Spectrum bag, actually, which I have around here somewhere. Cold, 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 we belong together in the cold, cold. I mean, I kind of get the sense that a couple things with the concept is this is the music that was released on this album is not all of the music that they intend to release in this concept, and also the fact that when they were talking about it before Act 1 came out, I mean before Prelude to War, that Act 2 was supposed to be the sort of biggest of all these planned records they had, that there was more music that they intended to release either with this or that's now going to end up on Act 3. I don't know. But, no, I mean, I give it a big thumbs up, of course, but I have my own bias. I like all the records. I can't say, though, that it's exceeded my expectations, but I'd say I can't say it's sort of, it's at that level. So, anyway, thank you for the comments. Thanks to new subscribers. If you listened to the Family Crest, the War Act 2 just came out, what do you think of it? How's it compare to, like, Beneath the Brine? I didn't mention, though, I think it was, I think I did. Was it You Are the Beginning has that little cello part? I think it's You Are the Beginning. It has the cello part that sounds a lot like the title track to Beneath the Brine. I don't know, they should play the two of them together or something. So yeah, what's your take on this record? And, the album's in May. I haven't done a review of the new, the gospel record, The Loser, too, which I need to, but I also am gonna do like maybe one other quick review today, and then I don't know if I'll have time later because I'm gonna go meet a friend, play some mini golf, and have some lunch. But thank you for watching again. We'll see you next time.